Hey guys, welcome to the Binge Zone. On today's video, we're going to be recapping Season 2 of Dark in preparation for the finale, Season 3, the third cycle. Without further ado, let's dive into the recap. Season 2 opens up with young Noah and a man trying to tunnel through the cave on June 21, 1921. Before they both exit the cave and the young Noah kills the man. In 2052, young Jonas wakes up from having a wet dream about Martha in his room inside his abandoned house before he leaves to go to the bunker and listen to a tape made by Claudia. On June 21, 2020, people are still reeling from the disappearance of several children in Winden, and in a town meeting, Clausen states that he is the head of the new task force where the case of the missing children will be reopened. Back to the future, young Jonas visits a graveyard before we return to the past where Bartosz and Martha meet up under a bridge and break up. It is announced that the power plant will close in 7 days, and adult Jonas convinces adult Hannah that he is her son. Back in the future, Jonas witnesses 2 men being hanged for trespassing inside the dead zone. Clausen questions adult Charlotte about adult Ulrich before they begin working on the investigation, and Adam and adult Noah talk about the apocalypse needing to happen. Adult Jonas and adult Hannah have a conversation that ends with adult Jonas saying he is here to put an end to this cycle once and for all. Bartosz and adult Noah enter the cave, and young Elizabeth finds a photograph of adult Noah that dates back to 1921 and gives it to Peter, who gives it to adult Charlotte as a piece of a large puzzle that they are trying to figure out. In the future, young Jonas goes beyond the wall into the abandoned power plant and finds the God particle. Young Jonas continues to listen to the tape recording that informs him about the complex nature of the God particle while he attempts to recreate the same conditions necessary to time travel, but he fails in the end. Adult Jonas time travels to 1987 with adult Hannah so she can see the truth about Michael with her own eyes. Mikko and young Hannah's paths cross when school begins, and adult Claudia goes to work and meets the owner of the dog, Gretchen, whom happens to be her future self, the White Devil. The White Devil convinces adult Claudia that they are the same person, while in the future, young Jonas sets up a trap in order to steal fuel from a tank. Clausen and adult Charlotte question adult Regina first about the disappearance of the missing children, despite having no connection to them, but she does seem to have a connection to adult Jonas. Adult Jonas takes adult Hannah to the cave and time travel into the past, while adult Noah meets Mikkel. Old Egon meets and questions adult Helge. The White Devil takes adult Claudia to the cave and gives her the information she needs to stop Adam before time traveling to the past. In the future, young Jonas is caught by rebels. Young Jonas is sentenced to die by hanging, but adult Elizabeth stops it. Old Egon visits old Ulrich in a closed psychiatric ward. Young Jonas is freed from captivity and shows a rebel girl the God particle, while adult Hannah sees Mikkel in the past, more specifically June 22nd, 1987. Young Jonas successfully stabilizes the God particle in a time portal and goes into the past. Adult Noah puts young Helge in a chamber like the time machine, and young Claudia sees her mother and adult Agnes in bed together. On June 23, 1954, young Helge returns home. Later, a young Egon questions young Helge, and adult Claudia talks to adult Helge about why he gave her the book. Adult Agnes and the White Devil meet up in the bunker to plot against Adam. Adult Claudia meets the author of the book, Old H.G. Tannhaus, in 1987. Old Egon meets old Ulrich once more in the psych ward, and in the past, adult Egon meets adult Ulrich in prison. Young Helge reunites with adult Noah. Old Egon continues his investigation. Adult Noah meets adult Agnes, whom plan to betray the White Devil in order to rejoin Adam. The White Devil meets adult Egon and apologizes. Old Egon tells adult Claudia he has prostate cancer. Adult Egon then speaks to young Claudia about her future self. Old Ulrich reacts violently when old Egon shows him a picture of Mikko and is told Mikko is here in that time period. The White Devil gives adult H.G. Tannhaus the book that he will write starting the Bootstrap Paradox. Adult Noah shoots and kills the White Devil before discovering the truth about Charlotte. Adult Claudia time travels to the future to see her cancer-ridden daughter, Regina. Martha has a wet dream about Jonas where he says, "You and I are perfect for each other. Never believe anything else," and wakes up crying. Young Jonas is transported to 1921. Adult Jonas finds out that Hannah has a gun and a stolen passport. Young Jonas meets young Noah. After young Jonas looks at a picture that has the words Sic Mundus Creatus Est in it before leaving and running into young Agnes. Clausen questions Alexander Tiedemann because he is not from around Winden and he took his wife's last name, to eventually come to know his real name, Alexander Koher. Hannah has the items as blackmail, and Charlotte meets and questions adult Jonas about the picture that Noah is in. Young Magnus, young Francesca, young Elizabeth, and young Martha enter the cave. Claudia goes to the library to get information about the town's history, which is digitally archived. It shows how out of touch with the time she is. Charlotte shows adult Hannah and adult Jonas her findings in the bunker, and young Jonas enters the cave. Charlotte takes adult Katerina to the bunker to explain that Ulrich and Mikko are still alive, but adult Katerina doesn't believe it. Young Magnus and company run into Bartosz in the cave. Magnus and company attack and tie up and leave Bartosz in the cave and steal the time machine. Adult Katerina goes to school and finds a picture of Mikko and cries as she begins to accept what Charlotte said is truth. Young Noah takes Jonas to meet adult Noah, whom leads him into a cave to meet Adam. Young Jonas is told that he is Adam by Adam. June 21st, 2020, 2 days before the apocalypse, adult Jonas has a weird wet dream about young Martha before leaving. Old Ulrich executes his plan to escape the mental institution in 1987. Both adult Hannah and adult Katerina lie to Clausen about the whereabouts of adult Jonas. Adult Jonas leaves a coin that has Saint Christopher, the patron saint of travelers, on Martha's bed. Young Magnus and company return to the cave and get Bartosz to admit that the apparatus is a time machine, and Bartosz shows them how it works, and they travel to the past. Old Ulrich finds Mikko, and Mikko recognizes what Old Ulrich said, and the two reunite as father and son. Adult Noah meets Charlotte and shows her a picture of her as a baby with him, essentially implying that he is her father. Adult Noah plans to kill Adam. A chase is in pursuit after Old Ulrich and Mikko by the police, Inez and Old Egon, where Old Ulrich is taken into custody. The truth that Magnus and company time travel begins to set in as Old Ulrich sees his kids in the past. Adam shows young Jonas another God particle that is about to be used to send young Jonas to the future to stop Michael from committing suicide, which will break the cycle, but Jonas will not exist as a result. On June 20th, 2019, the day before Michael's suicide, Mikko interrupts his parents in bed with his rubella sickness. At the lake, young Jonas and Martha talk about if their respective parents are happy before finding a coin that has Saint Christopher, the patron saint of travelers. Young Jonas leaves and goes past future young Jonas, and he goes to talk to Martha about time and says that you and I are perfect for each other. Never believe anything else, before they make out, and then future young Jonas leaves. Michael then looks at the window and sees his young self, mother and father and wife, before having a brief deja vu interaction with himself as a boy. While everyone is at a party, future young Jonas goes home and hugs Michael, says ultimate fist bump, and tells him it is okay because he knows everything. Michael tells future young Jonas that it was he whom led a boy as Mikko inside the cave and left them there. Another time's version of the White Devil is alive and tells future young Jonas that Adam lied to him and that the future young Jonas' role in the cycle is much bigger than he knows, because what he does affects everyone and that sacrifices must be made. Adult Claudia starts making tape recordings of her findings about the God particle. Adult Hannah stole adult Jonas' time machine and enters the cave to travel back in time to 1954 to see Ulrich. Martha meets adult Jonas. Adult Hannah pretends to be adult Katerina in order to see adult Ulrich when she visits adult Egon in his office. Adult Katerina tells Martha that she is Jonas's aunt and Jonas is Katerina's grandson. Clausen interrogates Alexander about Clausen's missing brother, whom has the name Alexander Koher. Adult Hannah visits adult Ulrich in a psychiatric ward in hopes that he would choose her over Katerina, but she sees that the only reason he is saying he loves her is to get him out of the mental institution. Adult Claudia accidentally kills old Egon in an attempt to prevent his death in 1987 because sacrifices need to be made and everything has to happen as it always has so Regina can live. Old Egon realizes that adult Claudia is the White Devil, as those are his last dying words. Back home, adult Claudia breaks down and starts crying after she washes her father's blood off her hands before future young Jonas comes in and tells her that they both are going to the future. Adult Elizabeth uncovers photographs in the ground that indicates that she is Charlotte's mother. The day of the apocalypse, future young Jonas tells adult Claudia that she told him that if he were to change one factor in the equation, Mikko won't vanish, Michael won't hang himself, and old Egon won't die. Adult Jonas threatens Martha to come with him to safety. 6 hours before the apocalypse, future young Jonas tells adult Claudia that she wants to save the current world while Adam wants to create a new one. Adult Jonas locks Martha in the bunker. 4 hours until the apocalypse, Clausen uses his search warrant to look at the radioactive waste that is buried in the facility. Adult Jonas tells Adult Katerina that she cannot bring Mikko back because the past cannot be changed, and Adult Jonas is only here to stop himself from becoming what he is. Adult Noah attempts to kill Adam but cannot because Adam is not fated to die. Instead, Agnes takes the gun from Adult Noah and kills her own brother. Future young Jonas connects the future and the past within the tunnel in the cave in order to travel 33 years into the future with Adult Claudia. 2 hours until the apocalypse, Adult Claudia meets Adult Regina and apologizes. Young Noah travels back in time to meet Adult Jonas and tells him that he must fulfill the prophecy to save everyone. Adult Katerina then goes to the cave. Adult Claudia takes Adult Regina to the bunker with Peter and Elizabeth Doppler already inside. Martha reunites with future Jonas and she tells them that they are perfect for each other. Never believe anything else. They start making out before Adam appears and shoots and kills Martha. Adam tells future young Jonas that the pain of Martha's death turns future young Jonas into Adam. The radioactive waste turns into the God particle and connects the future 2052 with the present 2020, and Adult Elizabeth meets Charlotte through the wormhole. Adult Jonas travels with young Bartosz, young Magnus, and young Francesca. A doppelganger of Martha from a different world then appears to come help future young Jonas escape the explosion that is engulfing Winden.